Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Love
Love
Island.
Island. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
Hello, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movies, sports, concerts, and even influencers looking for love and to get more famous and more followers.
Looking for likes.
Looking for likes. Exactly. Yes, today we're watching
Love Island,
Love Island USA.
Season 7 of the hit dating show on Peacock. And what a season it is. This is our
Yes.
part 1 review. We're going to have more to talk about, but we have to dive in now. Everyone's talking about this show. We just have to review what we've seen so far.
Yes, so this is our part 1 review.
This season has been a roller coaster.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're going to give an overview of the first, half of the season so far before the finale.
Episodes 1 through 30.
Episodes 1 through 30, so buckle up. Yes, and I agree. My expectations were really, really high. Yes, if you listen to our best of 2024 episodes, yeah, both of us really loved Love Island USA Season 6, and that was both our first times watching a full USA season, and wow, it really blew us away. So my expectations were sky high, and I think so many people are watching this season because how great Season 6 was.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what can be tough, like when you have a season that blows up and really makes the show and puts it on people's radars, it's hard to follow it up. So I will say the producers, the team, the cast, even they had a high bar to follow after like PPG and Serena and Cornell.
Let's dive in. Day 1, what did you think of our original cast? Did anyone stand out to you?
I was intrigued. I thought it was like a eclectic group of people, to be honest. Like the men, I wasn't super impressed. Like Austin didn't really do it for me. Ace didn't really do it for me. Taylor didn't really do it for me. Nick was the only one that I thought was cute.
You don't think Jeremiah's attractive?
Oh, I forgot about him. So yes, Jeremiah and Nick, I think, were the only cute guys.
Yeah.
But Jeremiah is almost like too hot.
Too beautiful.
You know how
yeah,
people say
he's
that?
like so hot.
I think that's why I gravitated to Nick first, because it was like Jeremiah is like dangerous.
Yeah, Nick is more like boy next door. Yeah, Jeremiah is one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life, and that's why we have to stay away from him at all costs.
Yeah, danger. And of course, we love the ladies. I was excited to see some brown skin queens, Shelly and Nicolandria, and the bodies. I feel like
I know.
You watch Love Island and you're like, how do people look this way?
I know. I look at them like, how did they all look like this? And a lot of the time the answer is Botox, filler, and BBLs.
Yes. So we can't look at it and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta get like that.
Wow, how did they do that?
Out
I need to go to the gym, and it's like, no, like a lot of it.
Like
it's surgery,
mama.
Huda
has a BBL, so
I know a lot of people like we're getting ahead of ourselves, but Andrina is like one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. Kind of like Jeremiah. I'm like, whoa, like
it's too much.
Just gorgeous. And like her body is just unbelievable. And looking at her, I'm like, her waist is so skinny. And like her butt is so big. I'm like, that is not human. Like that's not humanly possible.
It's not real.
So a lot of us are speculating that she has a BBL, but I mean, girl, she looks fantastic. So it's one of those things like, hey, if getting surgery is going to make you feel more fabulous, do what you got to do.
Works for you.
And I remember when the cast was announced, people were like, Ace? Oh my gosh, Ace? And apparently, I remember, so I looked him up because people were talking about how they knew Ace. So Ace is like this dance influencer who like teaches dance lessons on his TikTok to people all over the world. And I remember looking at his page and being like, I don't understand what he does. Like, it's just these kind of weird, crusty videos of him, like, dancing on Zoom. Like, I just didn't get it. I was like, how is he so famous from doing this?
And had been on the Jennifer Hudson show before coming on Love Island. I'm like, what?
Like, Love Island,
whole
stop.
Other world.
It's so crazy. We don't want to see influencers.
People that are influencers on the show already. It's supposed to be new people. What's always fun for me is when the first bombshells show up, because that's really when it gets interesting. Because right, day 1, you barely know these people, you haven't really formed connections. So when the bombshells come, it's like, ooh. And so the bombshells show up the next day during the kissing challenge when they're blindfolded. And everyone's like, who's this new person I'm kissing? And you find out 2 bombshells kiss all the girls and guys and then go into the hideaway. And the bombshells were Sierra and Charlie. Sierra gave bombshell to me, 100%.
Yes.
Charlie, not so much. Is that a hot take?
I mean, he has the accent. I think Charlie is cute, but he's not as like hot as, you know, some of the other people.
No. And he was kind of like awkward, corny. Like he didn't have like the kind of swag I feel like the ladies wanted.
Yeah, you know, the accent. They're like, ooh, British. That's probably
Yeah.
why. Okay, day 3 was wild because Yulissa is removed from the villa just unexpectedly. They're like, oh, for a personal situation. And so I look it up and I'm like, oh, it's because she was saying the N-word on podcasts months before the show started. It's like, what are the producers doing? What was your reaction to that whole thing?
Well, what's crazy is because this happened so early on. I'm watching, it hadn't really come out on social media yet, at least to me. Like it hadn't,
I didn't know either.
Come out. And so I'm watching and then I'm like, wait, did I hear Ian Sterling say Yulissa has left? He said it so casually and so fast. I paused my TV. I immediately look her up. I'm like, is anyone talking about this?
Literally.
So it felt very under the radar. So I was like, whoa. I was very surprised when I found out what she said and like how. I was like, oh, well, I can see why. And it felt really weird because she was paired up with a black man on the show. So it felt uncomfy. Ugh. Like you're trying to say the N-word to him, you know?
Yikes. It was so funny. Like one of my friends, we saw it in the most recent episode, but Huda like keeps on calling the black man on the show like brother. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't. Even more reason that I don't like her.
Apparently, she's also a Trump supporter. Online, she has said, "Oh, people who unfollow me because I'm a Trump supporter, like I don't care about them. That's ridiculous. Whatever." So, good riddance, Yulissa. You will not be missed.
No, I honestly think the season was fine without her.
Yeah, she was not missed at all. What did you think of the State Your Case game where they all reveal like, oh, how many sexual partners have you had in one day? And like, what's your body count? Like stuff like that. What did you think of that game?
Those games are always like my least favorite because I'm like, wow, y'all are really out here. Like
in the streets.
Don't want to know that. I don't want to know that Austin's had like 1,000 sexual partners. Am I crazy?
No, it was like over 100.
I was like, I don't want to know that. That's disgusting. Like, what are you doing? Like when you think about it, these people are like 25 years old.
Yeah, he's like, 26.
How is that like mathematically possible? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like too much. And
I
then
have a lot of questions.
You know, finding out that you kiss like 3 people in a day, I'm like, what are you doing? You're just kissing everybody you see at a bar? Like, it's like too much. I am like so grossed out. I'm just thinking about like mono the whole time. And like STDs. And I'm like, I hope everyone's tested before coming to the show.
Yes, so they do STD testing, thank God, because they're all making out with each other immediately right after one another. And they're having sex in the beds right next to their fellow islanders. Remember on UK last season, the rugby boy, he was like 22 and he had like 200 sexual partners. And you're like, Keenan. And you're like, wait, how are you 21? Like, how does that work? Like, how are
like honestly, my head can't compute. I'm like, please stop. Especially when you see studies and they're like, Gen Z is like single and lonely and like not having sex. I'm like, who are these people? Who are they doing this with? Like, what is happening?
The Love Island demographic are the exceptions. Like,
this is nuts.
I know. And it's so interesting to see, like, the girls are just, like, the highest is, like, 20. And the highest for the boys is, like, 130. And you're like, oh, gosh. I know.
Classic double standard, but also just shows, like, women were more, like, emotionally in tune.
Yeah, considerate and respectful.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. And Sierra was like, oh, I had the highest body count of the girls. Like, I just don't know how I feel about that. And she had, like, 25.
I'm like, girl, don't feel bad, please.
I know. These men are, like, 5 times as much as you. You're okay, girl.
The last thing you need to do is feel bad.
Yes.
Oof.
Okay. What did you think of our new bombshells after that? Maya and Hannah.
Yes. The getting to fourth base game was hilarious. Finally, I was like, bring back the grossness. Love Island USA, unlike UK, has really gross games where it's like we're getting slimed, we're kissing, we're like having milk poured on us.
Right.
Like, and I've come to appreciate it. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I get. This is what I want. And I loved how during the game, all of a sudden, 2 new girls show up. I was like, yes. So you had Amaya, Papaya, and Hannah show up.
Amaya connects with Ace and Austin in the villa. And we have a recoupling the next day. And this was very dramatic. We had our first dumping, Bella. B-E-L-L-E dash Literally, when this season announced this cast, I said Love Island producers. Who are these people? Who are these names? I said Shelly, Olandria, Bella. What is going on here? These are all like movie characters. Ace. And all these names are
his
fake.
Name tattooed on his back. Too much.
Everything. Every time Ace is on my screen, I get chills. He is so like, ugh.
It's so funny.
Ugh. Like, I cannot stand him. He's so annoying. Like, who has their name tattooed on their back? Like, how dare you?
Girl, it's hysterical.
It's so weird. And his real name is like Alan.
What?
No, his real name, if you look on the Wikipedia, and I remember people are talking, his real name is Alan.
Stop. Please.
Ace is a rebrand. It's like how it's like Bell dash is a rebrand. Her real name is like Isabel Ann or something.
It's too much.
And I'm just like,
everyone's doing the most.
Like, who? I'm like, what are these people's names? Are you kidding me? Yeah, their names are wild. And it's like how Vanna from Casa More. You know what her real name is?
It's not Vanna?
No, it's Savannah. Why are they I bet the producer like, do you have a quirky nickname that we can like have for you?
I don't believe that. It's like me going on show and being like just Shelbs or Shelb. It's like, my name's Shelby. If you want to call me Shelb, you can. But
no, I think they probably tell them like, have a quirky name.
That's crazy.
It's like Pepe. Like when Jalen and Pepe came in, I was like, Pepe, like producers. I swear they find people with these like funky names. It's very endearing. But literally, like when they announced the cast, I was like, Bell dash like what's going on? Go by Alan. I don't want your name to be Ace.
Crazy.
Please.
And the thing is, I think people were sad Bella got dumped.
Yeah.
But it was kind of obvious to me. Like, Nick was picking between Bella and Sierra, and it just seems like the sexual chemistry and connection with Sierra was so much greater. Like, they had deeper conversations. Like, they were all over each other. Bella was saying, I'm a Christian. I've never been with many people. I'm trying to, keep my, cards close to my vest. She, like, didn't really kiss in challenges. Like,
yeah,
they just seemed on different planets.
I know, and how Nick got jealous. Like, oh, she kissed other people. I wanted to be her first kiss in the villa. I was like, Nick, you can miss me with that. I just thought that was annoying. So I just didn't love how she was treated in the villa. I'm happy, I do think she's too good for
I think it was good for her to go, to be honest, because it would have gotten worse.
Okay, so Jeremiah and Huda go on a date. What do you think of their date at the water park?
One of the only 2 dates this season.
That is
tells
so
you
crazy.
A lot about the couples or lack thereof. I actually thought it was like cute. Like, I was like, oh, water park date, I'd want to go on that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, I feel like they were starting to see some cracks. And I was like, is Jeremiah scared? Like, it just felt like Jeremiah was not like happy. Like, it felt like blink twice to get out kind of vibes.
Do you agree that Huda is like super clingy and too much?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the reason she's not acting that way now is because like producers or counselors, someone has coached her. Because I'm like, this is a 360.
I know.
She is a different person. So I'm like, something happened. There was a change.
I also think all the girls were like, Huda, like,
yeah, they were
take
all
it down.
like, yeah. Sarah, like, I remember all of them were like, girl, we're not going to save you again if you keep acting this way.
Yes. So I think the girls really gave her a reality check. What do you think of Jeremiah's reaction to Huda telling him that she's a mom? He was kind of, a little hesitant. Did you think she should have told him sooner? Because some people are like, it was misleading, like she should have told him before, all this stuff.
I think it's tough because I can understand why you don't want to lead with that.
Yeah, like I don't want that. If I were her, I wouldn't probably tell that to like everyone in my first conversation.
I feel like I would want people to know right away, because this is a big part of my life. It's a big part of who I am. Like, I want you to like me for me, but like also me includes this baby girl. So I probably would have told him sooner. And I thought it was interesting. She told all the girls before telling it. Like, it felt like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was Jeremiah, I would have wanted to know sooner. But I
Yeah.
also like can understand Huda wanting to like tread carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. Yeah, I see both sides. But some people were like, it was manipulative. She like was manipulating him. I don't think so.
I mean, they were kind of already like pretty far in, huh? Like they were pretty like locked in when she decided to tell him. Like they were so cuddly. I think they may have been intimate. Like, so I do think she did wait till him to kind of be pretty invested, like not talking to anyone else, you know?
Yeah. And do you think that Jeremiah was love bombing Huda? Because a lot of people also think this.
No, I don't agree with Ace.
Really?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why?
Do you agree?
I do think that it's interesting. A lot of people are like, anti-Huda, team Jeremiah. I am not pro either of them. I do not like either of them. But I do think like Huda just didn't go insane, right? Like Jeremiah made her go crazy because he was telling her all these things like, oh my gosh, you're my person. Like, I don't think he said I love you, but he was saying all these things that were so reaffirming. And yeah, it was really, really early. So he made her like so locked in, right? He had sex with her. And then he's like saying all these things. Actually, no, not really. And then he'd like kind of say these mean things to her. Like, dog, like you're crazy, like all this stuff. And it's like I understand. Like I understand her perspective. She went overboard, but I do think that he like I don't disagree that he love bombed her. I do kind of agree with that.
No,
he was doing too much. I think they were both doing too much. They both went like nosedive head first. And
yeah, so that's why I'm like,
Huda
how
got
was
really
it love
attached.
bombing if Huda was doing like the same thing?
And yeah,
I think
it's
they
tricky.
both were head over heels. And like, yeah, I don't think Jeremiah was more love bombing or anything than Huda. Like, I think they both just like dove in, dug their nails into each other, and didn't want to let go. And there did start to be some cracks in them. One, whenever there was a challenge and they needed to like participate, Jeremiah would always be nervous, whether it was like pucker or pie or the dominatrix. But during the dominatrix, when they all dressed up in their dominatrix gear and 3 new bombshells show up, Jalen, Pepe, and Iris. Iris kisses Jeremiah and Huda looks so upset. She's like turning over, tied up, trying to see. And it felt like beginning of the end. And it was just
that really was
like beginning. But I was here for these bombshells, particularly Jalen and Pepe. I was like, yes, a better countryman for Nicolandria.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Both Jalen and Pepe, those are big boys. Like I loved when they walked in.
Came in hot.
They really, really
They were
did.
huge. They like dwarfed. They were like triple the size of Ace and Taylor. It's like
literally.
Taylor's a string bean. Ace, we know he's not 5'10".
Right.
So.
There's a screenshot that I sent you, Shelby. We're gonna have to post on Sisters Who Watch Instagram. But it's like Ace on the Jennifer Hudson show, and she's towering over him.
To our story.
Okay, good. Make sure you're following Sisters Who Watch on Instagram. But yes, Jennifer Hudson is towering.
And she's like 5'10" or something, or 5'9". It's like,
girl. And then you see Ace versus Chris from
too
Casa.
much. The producers have to stop. Yeah,
you know that man's not 5'10".
5'9" and taller than Ace. Come on
now, Ace
please.
Boy. So funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and also in that dominatrix episode, we get the iconic Nick and Huda conversation. I have to tell you something really important.
What?
I'm a mommy.
A mama?
I'm a mommy.
Mamacita?
I'm a mommy.
Mom of what? A dog?
A mom. I have a daughter.
Can't. A mom?
A real, like of a baby? Yeah, a human child. I see that now and I still cry laughing every single time. And
So
there's
funny.
a Walmart posted on their Instagram, and it's like two carts having a conversation back and forth. Like, y'all, the memes of this is so good. So good.
It's honestly, Nick was like my favorite guy for most of the season because
Yeah,
the
I
options
agree.
weren't great. It's like, okay, I don't like
And that
Ace,
moment
don't like Taylor.
solidified him.
But that moment, this was the kind of the iconic meme. And I was like, okay, Nick, you're bringing the
Yes.
energy we need.
This was like the peak of the season. And I know several people who were like, I saw this meme online and I started watching the season because of this
So
meme.
funny.
Several people. And I was like, yeah, it's iconic. I quote it all the time. I think about it every single day. I'm like, mommy, mamacita.
It's so funny.
The mom of a dog?
Nick, please. Also just shows that like when you're 24, it's like the thought of someone having a kid is like foreign.
I know. It's
Like,
also kind of like it's kind it's kind of offensive to Huda. He's like, there's no way Huda can actually have a daughter. Like
he's
that's
like,
how his brain was working. We have to get to Pancake Gate. This happened in the next episode. Like, I still don't understand this. This is the beginning of the end of Huda's mental health. And do you understand what Pancake Gate even is?
Huda, and again, this is what I'm saying. It's like I think Jeremiah was justified and starting to cool off, to be honest, because we would see, and maybe we're not seeing everything, but we would see Huda be like, "My pancakes raw." Like she would not. I think she could have spoken to Jeremiah better.
Yes, her delivery is clearly
her delivery
terrible.
wasn't great,
Terrible.
and he would be like, "What are you, my mom?" And she low-key was kind of disciplining a child at times.
Yikes.
And Jeremiah's not her child.
I think they brought out like the worst in each other. Because I think that Jeremiah kind of antagonized her. He was like, I'm not your child. You're talking to me like your kid. And I think that's like rude when you're
for sure
saying that. Like that's insensitive. Like she is a mother. And you're like, I'm not your kid. It's like, why would you say that to someone? And he would
let the guys get in his head. Like, yeah, we're like, yeah, they would be like, yeah, we don't think Huda's, being honest or whatever. And then he'd like pout. Kind of like a kid. So like I do think I don't think he's in the right by any means, but I do feel like I'm not shocked by the way Huda was talking to him and treating him that he cooled off. Like I would probably cool off too. I'd be like, okay, this girl really
Huda was spiraling.
Yeah. She was spiraling, and the fact that she got mad at him for not really making a proper pancake and then told Taylor to make her pancakes and then went to Jeremiah, yeah, like, Taylor's a real man, made me breakfast. Like, too much. The manipulation. I'm just like, girl, it's a pancake. He accidentally didn't cook your pancake. Doesn't mean he's not a man. And then you proceed to call him like a little bee and like basically kind of verbally abuse this man.
I know. Like yelling at him across the villa, that was not good.
So bad. And so that's why, for me, this whole Huda redemption arc, I can't. Like, we've seen her really go off, and now we're kind of rewarding that behavior. And I'm like, yes, give people grace, give people a second chance. But it's like crazy. This was like a week and a half ago. How are we forgetting how she acted?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that Huda and Jeremiah were just the worst possible match. They just were explosive.
And it got worse because you're probably like, how does it get worse? It gets worse. So the next day, there's the Got Wood game with Paige DeSorbo hosting from Summer House.
Oh, wow.
Short-lived hosting because she got overheated. One, why are you wearing that dress? She looked great, but why are you wearing like a thick kind of sweatery material in Fiji? Like you set yourself up for failure. Yeah, of course you're going to overheat when you're wearing that fabric. And so doing this game, and it's when I think Jeremiah is like, I'm really going to do these challenges now. So he like actually decides to like kiss, I think, Nicolandria in the game. Huda sees, gets upset. And this is also when Nick kisses Nicolandria. It was just, they kept picking her name and she was like, okay, well, it's just kissing everyone. And America decides to pair these 3 new bombshells, Jalen with Nicolandria, which I was thrilled by because I was like, yes girl, like, get yourself a better country man. America knows. Mind you, America's votes were all my votes. I voted for Nicolandria with Jalen. I voted for Hannah with Pepe because I was like, Charlie, don't think he's doing what she needs. It felt like she
No.
needed something else, a little more spice. And then I also voted for Iris with Jeremiah because I was like, I think he needs to get away from Huda. I did.
Yeah.
And that's how America felt. And when Huda
That reaction was
found
crazy.
out that Iris was voted with Jeremiah, she crashed out. She had already been crashing out, but that was like...
Yeah, she had a breakdown.
Really bad. And being like, oh, this is because Jeremiah's acting bad. No, girl. It was because America does not like you.
That was so interesting. What did you think of that whole conversation? They were like, oh, America this, America that. And I feel like on the show, we haven't had them just talk about America like that.
No.
It was so interesting. They were like, oh, yeah, like, America did that because they want to protect you from Jeremiah. Like, they're trying to tell you something. And then all the guys are like, yeah, Jeremiah. America's trying to tell you that Huda, you need to stay away from Huda. It was so interesting how they were both like gaslighting themselves.
Literally. No, it's more like America knows y'all are not
y'all are
for each other.
Match. Yes,
you both
basically.
need to get away.
Yes,
like, you have to break up.
It was so funny. They're like, yeah, America's looking out for you, girl. America knows that Jeremiah is a bad fit, and he's been love bombing you all the time.
Oh my gosh, they were just
so
Delulu. So the Islanders that were left were Taylor, Charlie, and Huda, because they were now single because they weren't with Nicolandria,
right,
and Jeremiah anymore, and the Islanders had to choose who to save. Of course, Taylor wasn't going anywhere. Because we know this could be Friendship Island, I knew Charlie was toast. I was like, all the girls are gonna save Huda.
I know.
I knew it. And Charlie tried to plead, like, I'm telling you, I just had a great conversation with Hannah. And Amaya's
so
like,
funny.
We don't want to do that.
She's like, we don't want to do that. Don't be good. How could you?
This season started to peak.
Oh my God.
It was like post Mamacita. This moment.
Do that.
Too much. And they dumped Charlie. Hannah balls. She breaks down. She grabs the photo of them in the photo booth. She's like cuddling with it at night. I was like, it was too much. Mind you, 2 days before, she was like, I think I'm off of Charlie. And that's why America put her with Pepe. But then they have this one good conversation with Charlie and she's back in. It was just like,
please,
hilarious. Mind you, next day, all the new bombshells couples go on dates. She forgets about Charlie real fast.
Oh yeah, she's making out.
Hannah is making out with Pepe. But it was funny because Jeremiah had to go on this date with Iris. Huda gets upset. Like, why would he do that? It's like, girl,
he had no choice.
But another iconic line came out of that, like a meme, because Iris comes back from the date and Huda's like, yeah, what happened? Like, oh,
what was the date? And then Iris is like, oh, it was just like, on the beach, sitting and like eating, like on the water. My dream date, cute. And he knows that.
It's like, Huda, Jeremiah didn't plan the date. The producers planned the date. You're mad at him for giving your dream date to Iris? I was just like, this girl, it's too much.
Wow, cute. And he knows that. Yeah. But so this was also the point where Huda and Jeremiah sleep together. And I'm just like, that obviously just made things so much worse. Like, Jeremiah, why would you sleep with this woman? You know she's mentally unstable. Like, you know that she's not okay. And that just, gets her more connected to him and makes her act more crazy.
And it officially breaks when the love comes knocking door game, which, very bizarre way to recouple. They have, like,
that was
the ladies stand behind a door, and the men open the door of the person that they want to be with. And if the door opens, it means they both chose each other, then they're coupled up. And if it doesn't open, it means that they're vulnerable. Nicolandria, for some reason, picks Taylor instead of Jalen.
Oh my gosh.
Our hot country boy.
I'm sick.
So Jalen is vulnerable. And Jeremiah picks Iris over Huda. And then Huda's on the ground crying, shocked. And it's like, girl, you should not be shocked at this point. I think everyone was shocked, but I was like...
Pretends to be shocked.
Yeah, I was not surprised at all. It felt like they really needed the clean break. And yet again, the Islanders have a choice to save someone. Either Jalen or Huda. And they save Huda. This is, I think, the biggest mistake of Love Island this entire season. because now, spoiler alert, Huda is having a redemption arc and has the most followers out of every Islander on Instagram and has a chance to win the show after such bad behavior. Because y'all didn't dump her when America didn't like her. Look what you did. Look what you did.
Yeah, and Nicolandria could have had Jalen.
Ugh.
I know. I love how he just had a normal job, a truck driver. I love that. But I will say, one of my favorite episodes was Build a Bombshell with Megan Thee Stallion. That was unbelievable.
The peak of this season.
Yes, that was the best episode.
I literally made a TikTok
down.
video saying, like, I did not think Love Island USA could get better. And then Meg Thee Stallion showed up. Like, so happy.
Yeah.
And then sadly it went downhill. But this was honestly one of the best episodes of Love Island I've ever seen.
Yes, the twerk off was great. And also perfect branding opportunity collab for Megan Thee Stallion, right?
Swim.
She has hot girl swimwear and all day these girlies are just wearing their bikinis and swimsuits. So it was perfect. They showed off her swimwear. They looked great. And the twerk off between the men and the women was so good. Who was your favorite? Who stood out to you?
Nick and Austin I thought were hysterical.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I thought Ace would be better since he's a dancer.
Wrong.
And I thought Taylor looked goofy. So I honestly was
always.
like, Austin and Nick look the best, which is kind of hilarious.
Very shocking.
Very shocking. And then, of course, Shelly ate, literally twerking on Meg. Nicolandria, like Huda, say what you want. Like, she could twerk. They all have shots. Yeah. Like, the ladies really brought it. Yes. And then, like, the limbo contest.
Oh, that was good too.
I honestly feel like Meg should do this every summer. Come back and host.
I know, yeah. A game. She's an honorary guest.
But it's crazy because she met up with the girlies beforehand and knew their names and was like, oh, I want to see where you guys do your makeup. Like, she's an actual fan.
She was a fan, yeah.
Which we love. Cute.
And she was like, Huda girl, like, I want to see you shine. I want you to be with someone who really values you. It was so funny. And with that challenge, Build a Bombshell, we have new bombshells, TJ and Andrina. What do you think of our two new bombshells?
Another lit down with the men. I'm like, what's going on? You have Andrina, who is like one of the most beautiful women ever. And then you have TJ. And the girls were like, wow, TJ's so cute. I was like,
he's a man you can find on any street in any major city. Like, I see people like him walking around San Francisco every single day. Like, he's okay. Like, he's just a
baseball
boy.
player from Florida who's from Westchester County. Okay.
Maybe we were neighbors. I was literally thinking
he's from Pleasantville.
Yes.
So we're not neighbors.
No, but close enough. But like, he's right around similar age.
Laura, you guys overlapped.
I know. We probably have a lot of mutual friends.
That's
which is really strange to think about. Yeah, so my community, if you guys know TJ, please let me know. That would be so funny. Yeah, so I agree. Like, Andrina, like, she is one of the most beautiful humans I've ever seen in my life. Like, the bombest of the bombshells. Everyone is talking about how much of a baddie she is. She is just like,
and she was like, I'm gonna steal your man. And it was like, yes, you probably are.
I'm gonna steal your man. Like,
you can take every last one. Like, and she was not playing. I was like, okay.
No, all the men were like salivating, especially Jeremiah. Jeremiah was like, and I hated. He was like, like, I just love an ethnic girl. I love a spicy Latina. It's just like,
girl. All of my coworkers were like, they think that's why Jeremiah ended up being the bottom of the vote, because he isolated a whole community by saying that. The next day, when we have the results of America's voting for your favorite Islander, first of all, almost too much voting for favorite Islanders. What happened to voting for couples?
I know, right?
Like, don't understand. And so the bottom three girls were Hannah, Iris, and Amaya. The four girls safe were like the OGs. Huda, Shelly, Sierra, and Nicolandria. And the three boys safe were the OGs. Nick, Jeremiah, and Nick, Ace, and Taylor. So Ace and his minions. I did not know who the girls were going to pick.
Yeah, me neither.
But I assumed it wouldn't be Hannah to be sent home, because like, oh, Hannah's in a really close connection with Pepe. Like, it has to be between Iris and Amaya. You know, TJ just got here. Iris is kind of talking to him. Amaya hasn't had luck with anyone. Has to be one of them. When they said Hannah's name,
I was surprised.
Scared. I was shook. And some people have said it's because they were being strategic. Like Hannah could have been a threat because she was in a good couple with Pepe. Some people have said that the girls just didn't really vibe with Hannah like that. And, you know, she wasn't a part of the friendship island. And they were closer friends with Amaya and Iris. Like, I generally don't know the rationale. The rationale the girls gave, like, oh, Hannah's had 2 good connections and she's not really exploring. Like, felt like kind of BS.
Gosh.
Like, it felt like they were in cahoots with the boys because the boys gave the same rationale for Jeremiah.
Like, Jeremiah's love bombing, and we didn't want him to repeat the same behavior with someone else.
Who are you to tell him how he should be acting in this house? Like, honestly, Ace at 22 telling people how they should be acting in this villa is crazy.
I can't believe Ace is still on my television screen. Like, the fact that him and Huda are still in the villa, like, I can't, like, Ace literally makes my skin crawl. Like,
they basically sent home who they wanted to send home because they were either threatened. Right. I think they were all the boys were threatened by Jeremiah because every bombshell wanted him. Because he's the hottest. Because he's so hot. And because he was taking the time to explore people and making strong connections. They know that's what Love Island's about, so they didn't want that.
Yeah.
Especially since he was about to hit it off with Andrina.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I had a sneaking suspicion, and you could tell when Taylor was explaining who they're going to dump, and Jeremiah made a face like, are they talking about me?
LOL.
Crazy.
So bizarre. Yeah, so the next day is Casa Amor, which usually is like a highlight. Like, I'm really excited about it. But I feel like the men were not giving this Casa Amor.
There weren't any strong couples to test. Right,
no. This Casa Amor just felt like off, bad. And it was. This was probably one of the worst Casa Amors I've seen really bad out of all my Love Island experiences.
And I didn't like the twist.
The twist didn't make sense because the twist also wasn't a real twist because the twist had no stakes, right? So Amaya, they all coupled up. There was one extra original boy and original girl. And Amaya and TJ were not picked, so they had 24 hours to find a new connection before they were dumped. And I just didn't find this interesting, but both Amaya and TJ are picked up, you know. Zach chooses to couple up with Amaya, and then there's kind of like a chain of people of the boys.
Bizarre.
But both Nick and Nicolandria are left vulnerable and are like, you have 30 minutes to pack your bags. But it doesn't say you're dumped from the island.
Crazy because everyone balls. I got emotional. I was like,
I know.
The poor Islanders have been put in the ringer. Thinking that 2 of the OGs, their good friends, are leaving. They all were destroyed. Honestly, the way that Ace and Taylor
were sobbing. I was
so
like, what is wrong
about
with
Nick?
And the way Nick came back in the villa, so Nick and Nicolandria, right? They choose to couple up instead of
they have like a mini bachelor date. It's like, first of all, annoying. Like you said, that's not a real twist.
It's like, because if they actually were sent home, that would have been insane, right?
No, it wouldn't have been good because they're 2 main characters,
2 fan favorites, but that would have made the show actually interesting if they went home.
But
because that's what you told us was going to happen.
Can't have this happen.
Like, yeah, and then Nick is like, oh, Landry, I've just like always thought you were so beautiful and amazing. And
Nicolandria hive.
Yes, and then when they come back to the villa next day, the way that Taylor swerved Nicolandria and then jumped on Nick.
Can't stand that man. He needs to, honestly, he needs
he's more excited to see Nick than Nicolandria.
That's why it was like, how did Nicolandria not see the signs?
I know. Like, he had been doing Nicolandria dirty this whole time. He was like, yeah, I'm just not that affectionate. Like, I'm a slow burner. And he's like, yeah, Nicolandria's a slow burner. I was like, just say you don't like her.
It's the same with too long. Ace and Amaya. We haven't talked about that, but like, when Ace was so like, oh, you're saying babe too much. I'm not affectionate. Like, you are affectionate with Shelly.
You coupled up with her.
You coupled up with Amaya. You found her attractive, and now all of a sudden, you don't like her? Give me a break.
Yeah, Give me a break. Is the villain. Yeah, like the way that everyone was shocked he didn't pick Shelly in that recoupling, and
because he was making it seem like he was so into her.
Yeah, and then you don't choose her, and then he immediately is like, "Yeah, Maya, like you're doing too much. Don't call me babe. That's my boundaries. Do." And she's like, "Oh, that's just me." And then he was like, "Well, stop. I don't like it. You're doing." It was just like so aggressive and hurtful.
Awful.
Yeah, I
especially
really
after picking her in a recoupling and saying nice things about her in your speech. Like, make this make sense.
And then 5 minutes after the recoupling, he's like, oh yeah, like I'm still open. Like I still really want to get to know Shelly. Like I don't want you to think that this means that I'm all in on you. Like it was very
So
rude, mean. Yeah, that was just
Oof.
rough. And in Casa, this is kind of like a classic Love Island USA challenge during Casa
Mm-hmm.
More. They do like the kissing challenge. And it's like, oh, the person who kisses this person the fastest, or this person who goes all out, or like whatever, wins. And that's just kind of like whatever. They're just like humping and making out and all
Casa
that stuff.
won.
Yeah.
It was honestly hard to tell. Like I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The
It's
only
whatever.
thing I liked about Casa was Nick and Alandria's kiss in Soul Ties.
Yes.
That was the best part. But short-lived, because the next day they were like, oh, I just don't think we should do this because Alandria was still into Taylor. And to be fair, Nick was still into Sierra. And they were friends with each other's partners. Like, I can get why it seems awkward. Like, we're kind of put in the situation to try and like make it work, but we're technically in relationships with our friends, so shouldn't do this. I guess, would you say the Casa recoupling was dramatic?
No, I thought it was dumb that everyone came back and then they have to go in a circle, and then if you chose this person, you write on a little board. It was whatever. The people you expected went home. I thought that Ace might choose Coco, but he ended up picking Shelly, and Shelly ended up picking Ace instead of Chris.
And Chris
So it
and
was
Huda
whatever.
picked each other. I was like, that's convenient that you both picked. Like,
I know.
I don't
It
know.
seemed like there was some plotting.
Yes,
right? And we kind of see that in the next couple episodes. Huda apparently told Shelly, oh, I picked Chris for you, right? I wanted you to explore Chris. And then Shelly's like, no, stop saying you did that for me. Like, you clearly like him and want to get to know him. Like, don't act like you're doing something for me when it's really for you. So you could tell so after hearing that, you could sense there was some plotting. I have a question. Do you think that Ace and Shelly knew each other beforehand? And
well, they
kind of
had
plotted
met
to be a couple.
I don't think they plotted, but I do think naturally, if you had met someone before this and you're with all these random people, if you have any kind of like similarity or connection, I'm not shocked that there would be a draw or a pull, you know? So I genuinely don't think that they knew each other before, like for real. I know the social media hounds think otherwise, but I just think it's a coincidence, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, I don't know if they plotted to be together, but the way that Shelly's all in on him makes me think, like, why? Like, it just seems like suspicious. Like, maybe Ace is not translating on TV, but I think most people just
I know that's
really
what she's
don't like
saying.
him.
She was like, people
So I'm
aren't
just
seeing
like,
the Ace I'm seeing.
I'm like, what? Like, girl, he gets so much screen time. Like, I don't like. I'm missing something, and clearly America's missing something because he's like the least favorite. No one likes him in the voting. Yeah, and something else from Casa I want to know. Remember, like after the kissing challenge between Casa versus the Villa, like JD made those really weird comments about Huda. Do you remember that?
He was like, yeah, you're being like so aggressive, or
you're being too much. Like that wasn't classy. Like it was so out of nowhere. And Huda was like, oh, okay. And then she just walked away.
She was like, it's over. Hilarious. That was quick.
So
and she went right to
weird.
Chris.
I know. And apparently JD is like dragging Huda online. That's what a friend told me. That he's like writing all this stuff about her, and it's like, JD, you're irrelevant. I'm so sorry. Like, no one is talking about you.
I wouldn't fight that battle since she's all the support online. The hood rats,
I know.
as people like to say.
Yes, the hood rats. That's wild. Hood rats rise up. No, I haven't.
The hood rats. So post Casa, Zach with a C, Vanna, who was 21 with Botox galore, JD, and Coco, R.I.P. were not picked and not saved. Alandria, of all the girls, was saved, and Elon from the boys was saved. Elan.
Alandria has 47 lives. Like, as much as I am rooting for her, it's hard. Like, she's just working her way from the bottom this whole season, and it's just really tough to see. And Coco, I mean, she is stunning. Baddie. Deserved better. She was one of the most beautiful girls in the whole villa. Her and Andrina, I'm just like just stunning. So I was sad to see her go.
100%.
But she doesn't belong with any man in that villa. So,
girl, she is lucky she's not with Ace. That's all I have to say.
Ace did you a favor, girl.
Yeah, girl, you are good.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of our review of Love Island Season 7, the first half of the season. Please make sure you listen to part 2. Thank you and stay watching.